it's particularly important for children with Down syndrome, and it's particularly rare for children with Down syndrome to be included, which is a shame, which is why we created these guidelines with the hopes that it would bridge this gap and make inclusion more accessible for educators, administrators, and the whole team. So the developmental profile, the educational profile of students with Down syndrome, they have great challenges in speech production. I'm just going to kind of go through a list of various reasons why inclusion is so important. But it is really important for our population to be in language-rich environments, right? With, same age peers. And, we need higher levels of speech. We need clarity. We need a lot of times in, self-contained settings or separate schools, we find things, the speech is not as rich. It's not as rich of an environment. So it's really beneficial for our students to be surrounded and immersed in that. Sort of like when you put an English language learner into the community as opposed to taking classes. They soak it in that way. It's real time, it's organic. So it's really important to hit speech from that angle for students with Down syndrome. There's more academic teaching and learning in general education classrooms than in self-contained classrooms. It's a richer level of information being offered. There's a wider curriculum. Things are not, people with Down syndrome have a rich array of interests, and I think they need to be exposed to it all, not just certain things, because they're going to find that thing that they can kind of glam onto and use, and that skill that they can really improve upon. So that's important. Behaviors. So people with Down syndrome are super visual learners, and they're super social. Widely speaking, I have a son with Down syndrome, and he is not super social. So we don't all fit this bubble. So I always think of these things when I talk, but for the most part, they tend to have this great social strength. Even when they're babies, they'll come out, right? And they have this amazing eye contact. And they just love looking at faces and learning from other people. And they just are so in tune to that. So we really need to have these folks around the highest level of peer model out there, because they are just picking it all up, the good and the bad. So it's really important for them to have that piece, because they're such visual learners as well. I think also I would be, and so this is not just all opinion, by the way. There's a lot of research done on the benefits for children in the general education classroom as opposed to the self-contained setting.